Yeah, I agree with you. He's always smiling, but it's not everything. The one that is with Jacinto, and I'm very pleased to have both of them. I welcome my brother, Mauri, and Jacinto. Both of them are going to be in this talk, and they have an interview. This will be an amazing. So, Mauri, the floor is yours. Thank you, Diego. Hi. Well, we're just about to close this wonderful marathon. Of course, we were up all night listening to you. Where there's a lot of things to share with you. I want to share with a lot of excitement, and this panel was just spectacular. So if you are waking up, and maybe you lost some hours, but now you are with us, and Jacinto, I send you a big hug. I say hi to you, Blanca, and everyone. You've been doing an amazing job. Congratulations. And we are almost 24 hours working. We are about to finish this business marathon. 24 hours will be enough. So, Jacinto, how are you? Amaury, first, there is a noise in your mic and in the transmission, so I don't know what is happening, what is wrong. Can you hear me okay? No. We're going to fix your noise because you have a noise in your mic. Okay, let's start with Jacinto. How are you, Jacinto? Hi, Amaury. Good morning. Good morning. I'm very excited because of this business marathon. This has been a spectacular event. Uh, Hi, Diego. Well, Omnilife is a resistant career, so watching him is the proof that Omni is for the people that resist. I'm very excited, Amauri. I want to thank you for this invitation. I love to be here today with all of you, and I'm kind of nervous. I don't know what to say with this first round of questions. So I'll start. I want to share with you my story. I knew this company when I was living a very difficult time in my life. I'm from Huaraz, here in Peru. It's a province where the mountain of Andes is located. And since I was young, I want to be different and help my parents because they also were having a very difficult situation. And because I was the firstborn, well, I saw that reality, what was happening. And I came to Lima to finish my school, my studies. And I remember that my mother said, "Why do you want to go to Lima? You can study here." But I understood that in those times people migrate to Lima due to So if you go to Lima, just promise me that you will be a good person. And I came to Lima. And when I arrived for 10 years, I work in a lot of places. The little that I have in money, I send that money to my parents in those times. And month by month, and year by year, so after 10 years living in Lima, there was a moment where I had a lot of debts, and I knew only when I was passing a very hard time in my life. So in that moment, I felt that was the answer, because I have a problem in my health, and thanks to this, if I can earn $3 a day, I'm okay. But because I started recommending the product, it was a very good day because I did that very fast in just 2 hours. In just 2 hours, trying to learn how to talk with people. I didn't know how to sell or offer the product. And then I dare to show the product, and thank God that person accepted, loved the product, and and I when I saw my first money, I realized that I can do this. This is my profit. I don't know nothing about the product. I don't know the business, but I have $10 with me. So can you imagine if I learn the business? And well, in those times, $10, you needed 8 hours, and I did it in just 2 hours. So I started working very hard, and in a very few little time, I had my trip to Mexico. And it was very important because in that travel, well, it was the first time on a plane. And for me, it was like a dream come true. Since I was a boy, I wanted to travel. And I remember that when I had this trip to Mexico, and all my family was in the airport, but nobody went there. And I believe, I remember that when the plane took off, I started crying, and people around me said, "Why are you crying?" And my answer was, "That's none of your business." But I was crying because I was very happy. It was the first time I was in the plane. We arrived to Guadalajara in a 5 stars hotel. I love that hotel. I never been in a 5 star hotel. So I And I remember that when I was in that room, I was so happy because when I started in Omni, I didn't have a place to sleep. And from those meetings of Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, people left the office. I was the last in, and one of those days, Hector said, "Are you going to leave?" And I say, "I was sitting in the office." And I say, "Who's taking care of your office?" "Nobody." "Why?" And it's because this Lima is very dangerous. And Hector says, "No, but we need to pay, and we are not ready to pay someone to take care of the office." and it must be something that we trust to. And Hector, I know somebody that you can trust and will not charge you anything, and that's me. I explained him my situation, and the answer was, let me talk with Irma, his sister. And when Irma, I remember that she was there, and I asked for an opportunity right there. I was for several days sleeping in the street. It was a very hard situation. And I say, I need to solve this. So fortunately, Irma said, you know something? There's no bed here. Well, it doesn't matter. I can sleep in the chairs. For me, it's safer to be inside of the office and not outside in the street. So in that way, I was in the business center, and during at night it was my bed. Later on, I could pay a mattress, and I remember Hector, I have enough money for my mattress. And Hector said, are you going to place a mattress? This is an office. I bought something that was not big enough, so at night it was my bed, and then and several nights I watch Jorge Vergara videos. My all the day I watch that, and my dream was to meet him in person. So for me, when I came to Mexico, it was very exciting. And later, when I was in the hotel room and in the bathroom, it was difficult for me. And I was amazed of the type of a bathroom that I have. You just put your hand here and that's it. You will have water. So I was playing in that hotel room because I wanted to understand the system. Also the bathtub, because in the business center we have a bathroom, but it was cold water. And in Lima, the winter is very cold. But suddenly in the bathtub, I have a hot water, and the towels, why there are so many towels? I use one towel and the second one and the third one. So that experience was special for me. Then the event was there, and when I heard Jorge, I felt in my heart that this was the opportunity of my life. I heard so many testimonies, and I remember my sponsor telling me, once you are in Mexico, you will see your future. And I was remembered that my future is in Mexico. My future is in Mexico. And when I was here, while in Mexico, almost at the end of the event, I asked Hector, Hector, where is the future? And he says, what? Yes, no, I saw nothing, because sometimes that I said something different. My question was, I thought of ovnis or something like that, something from the future. No, I haven't seen that. And he sent me, ask those people that and I listened their testimony, their travels, improvement of the health. And I told Hector, nobody talk about the future. He starts laughing and says, if that's your future, Jacinto, in 5 years you are going to travel around the world. You are going to earn money. You are going to change your life. You're going to be a healthy person. So if you believe me, that will be your future. And I remember that I stare and I believe him. And Hector, why they earn more and because they are diamonds? Can I be a diamond? Yes, of course. Do you need something special, like a degree? No, just work. So, with that, having that in mind, I came back to Peru and diamond was on my head because I want to change my life. So in Lima, I remember that I started talking with all the people in the plane. Somebody listened to me. Somebody thought I was a crazy person, but I continue. I had my objective, and I'm kind of shy. Well, used to be shy. It's hard to me to start a conversation, but in those times I tremble when I started to talk to somebody. But with that and with my objective to be a diamond, so in Lima I start working very hard. There is a secret. Do the 5 step. You need to follow the 5 step. Use the product, sell the product all day, every day, and then to enroll people, recruit people, and then teach them. So in that way, I work very hard. And 1 year later, I won another trip in Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, and Hong Kong. And that trip was very special because I remember in that extravaganza, and I saw in that big screen that a small plane around the world, and I say, "Oh wow, are we going to? We are going to travel almost 24 hours. You are going to watch only the day, not a night. How is that is possible?" So I won this first trip, and then Singapore and a cruise. And I remember that I was hungry, and we asked how much was the food in the cruise because I didn't have enough money, and everything was with a lot of luxury. And when I ask in the cruise, no, everything is included. And then I ask to the staff, and they say everything is included. Are you sure? Because I wanted to be 100% that they will not charge me. So I remember that there was a buffet. It was the first time of my life. So when I saw this type of buffet, and you can eat anything that you want, in that moment, I remember those days that the days I couldn't eat at the beginning of Omnilife and before Omni, when my life was so difficult. I was crying and eating at the same time, and it was everything. So different food, different dishes. So for me, that was, well, for me, it was like heaven. If this is heaven, well, I'm there. I was so happy. Then the cabins and your room was very beautiful. You ask food for your cabin, so can you imagine that trip was wonderful? Then tours in every city, and I remember that in Thailand there was a elephant show, and I remember that somebody said, if you want to be in front with with in front, and I raised my hand, and I didn't thought that the elephant was very near from me. I remember I was in the floor, and then the elephant, I say, no, 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 he's going to crush me. And suddenly he started to do me a massage, and then that elephant, you imagine the elephant there, and They say this is a luck. This is luck, and I say, well, so all those trips, those travel were an excellent experience. I learned a lot. Jacinto, we already fixed our microphone. Jacinto, I was hearing you, listening. I want to tell you, for me, Jacinto, and you know that my father love you, really admire you and respect you for all this, for all your life, your experience. So your Omnilife story is very special for the people that are listening to you right now, because this means that this history is like many other for distributors, but then you have this very special chapter where you were broke, totally broke, with none of a possibility, but you believe in yourself, you start believing, and now you are a distributor. In 2014, all the distributor, I remember, and a lot of people remember because in your face was in the bags of Omnilife. And Jacinto, in that moment, you could experience and live in flesh and blood a true life transformation. Your story, what is happening in OmniLife, is what it means to transform ourselves. So listening to you is inspirational. But now I want you to tell us, because many of us know your story, and for us is very clear this transformation, this evolution. And focus, please, and share with us the last years, because I know, and maybe it's something that you don't talk a lot, but I know that in the last year it's difficult for you to take that path that, and for example, you slept in a bank in a park, and then Hector and Irma allow you to sleep in their office, and now you are living in abundance, and of course your daughter is in the university. What can we say happened from this 2014 to now? So how is your future? Because as Blanca described you, you are someone with a big heart. And when you talk about your commitment, your life story. And in the last years, I know well, of course, you are celebrating a lot from December till today, but you had a moment where you needed to adjust your focus, and right now you are growing more and excited and convinced in your goals. And from having nothing to everything, what is your next goal? In those times when in 2014, something hard happened to me. First, my mother passed. It was something, a very difficult situation for me. And it was hard because I was in a moment of everything was growing, and suddenly, when she passed, I wanted to give her a lot. we are just starting to enjoy the abundance because, as I mentioned, my motivation were my parents. And I remember something that helped me a lot. The next day that my mother passed, your father called me and he told me, in that moment, I thought, how Jorge called me, how he knew about this, and he helped me. That everything has a moment and a process. And he talked about his testimony, and in that week, he said, "You need to help more people changing their life. Don't stop because of this." And it was like that. I continue, and I felt that once we arrive or achieve something, well, you are in the eyes of everybody and you need to do things correctly, otherwise the other can you can affect others. So when I started this, what my desire is, well, to have a good luck, and this is what I wanted for others. I didn't want to disappoint anybody.
And something that moves me a lot is thing of keeping helping other people. So when I started, I was in being not only in money but probably psychologically, emotionally. Uh, for me, it was very hard. My parents worked very early. They would leave. They would come back at night. When I was a kid, I would go alone, and I was the father and my mother for my brothers. I had something very strong with them, and in the schools, I understood something very big. Your father had two things: he either give you time or food. So he rather give you food. That's why they left early to work, and I, that was a relief. And when I came here, I said I want to give time to my children and food, and I don't want them to be in need, short on toys or dreams. Rather than giving to them, I have been fulfilling myself, trips, toys, food. For example, in Lima, I studied, but between studying and working at the time, that was very difficult. I either work or study, and I said, I'll save and I'll take the school later. The time passed by really quick. When I opened the eyes, some years have gone. I wanted to take medicine. Actually, I went to private schools. They were very expensive. Money was not enough. So I remember when my daughter told me I want to stay in the U.S. The day we went, when they told me about the tuition, I was crying. I was crying, and people looked at me. They thought because it was because of the money, the amount of the tuition, and I was so excited. I was feeling in that moment. I didn't have that privilege, and I can do that with my daughter thanks to Omnilife. And I was watching the movie of my life since I was a kid. Today, my children, thank God, they have the opportunity of everything. Maori, from the nutrition, something that I've said they must be well nourished, well fed. That's my responsibility, giving good education and the trips. For me, trips have been very important because they were eye openers. When I was a kid, I thought The world was my town. That's all the world today. You can see in YouTube or the internet, but in the past, I couldn't see that. But I thought that was the world when I started to travel, when I saw other foods, other cultures, other religions, heard other languages, other cultures, and many things I started to see. And as your dad said, traveling educates you. This happened to me, and I remember this with my children. I'll do the same. I remember when you were much younger. We were in a ship. I would follow you. You were very young. I want to see the owner's kid. I would follow you. You and other kids would buy in these gift shops close to the ship. And I remember you would ask discounts. No, 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 no. Give me this. And I would look at you and I would say, wow, the son of the owner. I never said I have all this ship. No, he he said my dad leads this, and no, you asked for a discount, and for me, actually, now this thing with your dad, I know Mauri is very careful with this because I saw you were asking for a discount, and I was like, for a long time, even though that was shocking for me, the son of the owner, who they have a fortune, but for me it was how you were enjoying with the other kids, and being home taught me a lot, Mauri, and I owe a lot to Omnilife. Sometimes for me it's very difficult to go inside myself. I don't know. Sometimes I cry because it was very difficult, but today I want to celebrate what's coming, what's coming ahead, but something that is motivating me is to help many more people to change their lives. I want to touch more people so they can experience what I experienced. That's what my burden is. I want people to change their lives, just like I did, because it's very difficult to be below zero, especially when your mind is very close. Now that we have political incident in Peru, I remember when I was a kid, we were told, hate the rich guy. It was very difficult, very hard. And now, when I see it from a different perspective, this is very hard. They teach you to hate the one who has, because I've seen they were killed, terrorists, all these things, and that's very harmful. That hurts a lot. How can it be they damage, and at the end you hate everybody and you blame everybody? And here in Omni with the schools, I improve this, I clean that, and I say love the rich one because they also help. And I remember my first year with my profits. I told some distributors, we want to have an event. I want you to give toys away. Many children don't get Christmas gifts. We would give about 2,000 toys to show them you can do good with money to other people. It's not only because we were taught that money is evil, and when I make more, that's conflicting. And that was conflicting sometimes. Because of the money, this happens. Because of the money, the other thing happens. Sometimes I thought that was hurting me. And well, I had to work and understand that no, since I was a kid, I realized something. I was happy without money. There were these little toy cars, and we didn't have this. I would grab a toy. and you would play with rocks and twigs. Yes, I had a happy childhood. Probably we didn't have this consumption will tell you that you need toys to be happy, and I saw that what you can have, and I've learned this in Omni, and I keep learning. And I am in this process of growing. This pandemic, for example, came, and I was working with many people, not digital, because I always liked to work with those who have the least, who are like I was, and I like to see how they change, how they grow, and many of them were not very much in the digital side. When I would get phone calls, I didn't know what to say, another here and there, and well, I had to be trained, look at different markets, let's go to other countries, let's do this and that, but this is only words. And I said, I need to start doing this. Thank God, today you can have a business in every country. I'm getting the hang of it, and I know that the coming years are the best to come. The best for me is what I do is instantaneous, is quick. In the past, to sign somebody up in another city in Peru, Atana, I had to travel 20 hours. 20 hours in a bus for one sign up. I would go back to the business center because I have a meeting on Tuesdays, and a different state. I would go for another sign up, and when that person, I had to send the code afterwards to register, go back, and that was about a week. Today, this is instantaneous. Somebody is buying product, and I am very excited for this. When I was watching Lex yesterday, I said, this is Omni's future, the speed of the things that are coming. I feel that we are going to change the lives of billions of people because today cell phones have access to places, for example, in the provinces I visited. You may have 20 or 30 people in that city. And I would sell to them, and there was nobody else to sell. I had to go to other markets, but where they are right now, you can sell to the rest of the world. We are more globalized, so I say now there's no excuse to say I have no more market, I have to go to other places. Wherever you are, all you need is an internet connection. You can work and say, and you will see the multiplication is going to be much more faster, Maury. It is very emotional here again. I want to recognize you. Every time I listen to you, you recharge me. You recharge me with energy, motivation, purpose. You are one of those distributors who remind us every time what Omnilife can do for others' lives, how you can transform completely. And also, when I listen to you and I remember the things you had to overcome, apparently you are the only one who experienced, but believe me, we all see ourselves in the things you tell us. You have fought, you have been resilient. Your relation with the money for me is wonderful. What you have shared with us, how you grew up, how you were instilled as a kid this mentality of being poor. They make boxes to explain why we're where we are, and apparently you can live that, and how you have to reconcile with the money. And today you're in a different position. Look at what you have built to have this abundance. And instead of as many people in this world, when they have abundance, instead of becoming cheap, not sharing, and not only because you live in need, it's very easy to say, I was in need, now I appreciate what I have. I think it has to do with you, your heart, what you are, the type of person you are, what you want to get from life, and the fact of you being able to see your abundance, being able to share that's one of the principles Jorge Vergara taught us or taught me from the very beginning. You, you exposed me that I want to negotiate. It's not because I have a fortune, but I was on a tight budget, but I would always like to negotiate, to bargain, to interact with people. I like to go to marketplaces, but that's part of the essence that we Omnilife distributors have, and Jacinto, from my heart. To close this, I want to celebrate your existence. You're a wonderful being. My father loved you very much. I think he saw many things in you. You were, for him, for many of us, a reminder, a constant motivation that in any moment we can find a Jacinto and we can help him change his life, and we can join more people to this family with this heart of yours, just to say goodbye. Let me show off for those who are watching and they're listening to you for the very first time. And I want you to know that, Jacinto, I want to give you some information. You probably don't know some of these things. They're very good for you. You have 24 years in Omnilife. You're Diamond Elite last year. Your cash production more than $300,000 a year. You had from December 2016 until this more than 500. You grew 26% from one year to the other. And check this out, all your organization in 2020, Jacinto, affiliated 11,700 new Omnilife distributors. We know you are strong in the US, but you have this international vision to grow your organization in every country, your organization structure. You have a Diamond Premier 3, Gold Supreme 9, Gold Elite 32, Gold Premier and 52, Silver Supreme, plus all those people we know they're in your organization. So Jacinto, thank you very much again for sharing with us. It is a message, this story of abundance, very clear. What you have shared for this closing of the marathon, I think we couldn't have a better one to live very motivated about the things we can do to transform, because what motivates us from you is that if, despite of these needs and adversities you experience, I think anybody can achieve their dreams like you have. Thank you very much, Jacinto. A very tight hug to you. Thank you, Amaury. Thank you very much. Cheers. Cheers, Jacinto. Thank you. See you around. See you soon. Yes, for the 30th anniversary. Thank you. A big hug. Take care.